is one of the areas, the state of the church in the U.S. is immature. Um, I'm not going to say across the board, but when you were talking about discipleship and the fact that discipleship is increasing, I think that's tremendous because that is really the foundation of what Jesus did. He didn't just he didn't just call the disciples, he discipled them once he called them. And then they were, apostles, but they were discipled for a period of time. And I think because I always say this because I am incredibly grateful that I was discipled because a lot of believers that have been in Christ for a long time have never been discipled. And it's critical because until we are discipled, we don't really have an understanding of all the components of what it means to really be discipled, to be a disciple. And so I think the immaturity is one of the areas when we talk about, some things in the state of the church in America. But what is the cause of the lack of discipleship? I mean, how did we have, like, I would say, an entire generation that has not been discipled?
Well, when you mentioned the word, when you went back again to us being, disciples, I thought about how someone joins a church. They are assigned to go through a 6-week new members class. I'm not knocking that, but that sometimes replaces, or we think that that's sufficient in terms of discipleship, not understanding that discipleship is ongoing. Discipleship is a lifestyle. Discipleship is something that people should be growing and maturing in Jesus. But if there's a mindset that I went through a class for 6 weeks and got a certificate for that class, then that may mean to some people that that's what it means to be discipled. Actually, it doesn't mean that. It means that you are now given the opportunity to become acclimated to a local church,
Mhm.
that you are now giving the opportunity to understand the culture of that local church, not necessarily that you have been discipled.
100%. Absolutely. Because I think, and you're right, because I think, and I know that it's explained as a new members class, but it's a new member to the church, not
Yes.
necessarily a new member to the body of Christ.